All right.
I don't want to pick.
3, 2, 1. What is the best season of our favorite shows? This is welcome back to Mother Versus.
Hey, let's go.
I wanna, I ramp up the energy a little bit. How's everybody doing today?
Awesome. Doing good.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Doing great.
Just yes. So we split these up in 4-episode chunks. So we're back with it today. We are going to head into our quarterfinals. We just had to figure out what they were called for a second ago. But you guys, this is where it's going to start to get heated. Like those first ones, we were pretty unanimous. I think there was like 2 of the original 8, that we weren't unanimously. We got split on. So I feel like go down a little bit more today with our first matchup here, which is In Space versus Ninja Storm.
This one hurts me. Hurts me. Jeez.
Who wants to kick it off? Now, Nick,
I'll go.
Sure. Hold on, but I remember at the end of the first episode, Nick was saying that he had a lot against In Space to use against it. So I want to see if he's going to use it this episode or if he's going to.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that.
That's what I'm debating on. If I want to save it for SPB.
So if we look at it like this with In Space versus Ninja Storm, you have the one franchise that was really supposed to be the end, but it actually revitalized Power Rangers as a whole. And then you have Ninja Storm, the first fully official Disney series. Okay, so both of these series set a tone for the next few years of Power Rangers as a whole. Okay, so there are some similarities, even amidst their differences, there are some similarities. But they both have strong red leadership. Okay. They also have cool teams. Like both teams are fantastic. If you look at them Ranger by Ranger, they're solid through and through. Now granted, Ninja Storm has like a leader, like a splinter, if you will. With In Space, it's Andros. Andros is the leader. Andros is the mentor. And he's got to help mentor this team and bring them up from their turbo days. So, there's all that. They both have great villains. Like I said, there's so many great things about both. I still see, now this is going to be tough because y'all know like how I feel about In Space. It is mad gully. But there's something about Ninja Storm and the charm, the quality, and that's not a knock on In Space because they brought the quality too, and the charm and the danger. But there's something about Ninja Storm and the way it's put together that I just love from top to bottom, period. I think that team is fantastic. I think the chemistry throughout that whole team, not only just as actors, but as Power Rangers themselves, is great. Lothar is amazing. His companions are a pain in the butt, but they do exactly what they're supposed to do for that show and for that series. You got a ninja school. Come on, fam. It's a ninja school. There's so much cool stuff. Plus, the Thunder Rangers. Thunder Rangers. Thunder Rangers.
The fact that they're an evil Ranger team.
No, go ahead, man.
Oh, no, I'm just saying the fact that they're an evil Ranger team, that hasn't been done in Power Rangers since then. It's been done in Sentai, kind of. But like an evil Ranger team that's marketed to be like this completely antagonistic force is so dope of a concept, especially for the time. That is just dope, especially since they're like a dark red and a dark blue.
Yes.
We've never had those colors since. That's so dope.
Also, they were evil by choice. They had there was no mind control, no BS. They had a reason to be angry, a legitimate reason when you find out about it. Now, when it comes to battling between the seasons, Andros is an amazing Red Ranger. But you know what's better than one Red Ranger? 2 Red Rangers, all right? That's the first thing. All right.
Damn
now,
right.
When you compare both seasons, both teams are amazing, but the bigger connection with the main team in Space comes from seeing them in Turbo. You have to get to know all these characters in one season, and they feel like a real team unit, a team family, and they've been through all the drama in that same season. Each one of them has reasons to be angry at different factions of the team. The Thunder Rangers come from a different school. Cam didn't feel he was respected until he became the Green Ranger. They just saw him as a computer nerd and like, oh yeah, this guy can fight since he was raised in a karate school. It kind of makes sense. So I feel like you get more of that balance, and like the reward is them being a family at the end. And at the end, you see them almost like an epilogue, years later, even though it's like the same year, but an epilogue where like now some are masters, some continue their like motocross career, like all that stuff as an epilogue is great. And In Space really hinges on understanding the Zordon era. Any kid can turn on In Space, Ninja Storm, watch it, love it, and then move on. So that's some of my points against In Space.
Now, it's been a few years since I've seen and watched In Space. The Psycho Rangers are that season, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Other goalie villains. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So when you guys said,
man,
like,
they're another really good.
team,
Oh,
I was like, wait a minute, what about the Psycho Rangers?
you're right.
Yeah, Psychos. Oh man.
I have good and bad opinions about them.
How did that play out in the show again? Were they like an evil team formed just to go against them? Like I honestly don't remember. Like,
Yeah,
Depends on if you're looking at the
Astronomer
comics
made
or the show. It really is kind of weird.
it's true. Their origin can be kind of either or.
Yeah. Basically, Astronomer brought them from computer disks or kind of drives,
Yeah,
whatever.
floppy disk.
Yeah, floppies basically. But it depends like you said, what origin you're kind of going off of. Because like in the comics, it's alluded that each of them betrayed their own Ranger team, and they were that evil. And Dark Spectre made them into Psycho Rangers, and then for some reason they're good again now. But yeah, it just depends. And I feel like when it comes to Psycho Rangers, and I have more of this if we go against SPD, but I really feel they're a great concept. They were well used for the most part, but they overstayed their welcome majorly. I really feel like it went from being badass evil rangers, looking cool, all that good stuff. When they almost die, they become giant monsters instead. Awesome. But like at one point, they're like the ghost in the machine for 2 episodes. That didn't make any sense. And like
They kept dying and coming back and stuff.
Yeah, that dragged
Yeah.
on way too much. And
And
then,
then they came back again in Lost Galaxy, and
which I was okay
yeah.
with. It's a good back at a fight.
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
got
no, and I love that. Yeah,
Yeah, but that was well used. But like when they wouldn't die for like it felt like 20 episodes, like that blew my mind. Like even I didn't care anymore. Like, and then Zane was the silver one because he tricked them. But like, did they not know they didn't have a silver one?
gotcha.
Speaking of Zane, I want to get to 6 Rangers because if you're comparing teams,
yeah.
I have my issues with Zane. In retrospect, when I was younger, I loved it, but in retrospect, I think Zane and his Doom Bucky are a little lame. Sorry.
I'm right
If
there
we're
with
comparing 6, like Cam and Zane, Cam is definitely, I think, the superior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Cam is great.
He's easily
So-
He's kind of like Ryan, where he's like Zane is kind of like Ryan, where he's just like missing through half of the season, and it's like I don't know, it's kind of frustrating because I really like his character, but he's just gone most of the time, and it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just off doing whatever. Yeah,
And also, I'm really happy that you're talking because I thought you just looked pissed the whole time I was doing my rant. Like,
oh no,
I thought you were looking at me like,
figure it out.
like
I
you
was
son of
thinking, I
a
was like,
bitch.
You got points.
Should we figure out a time to like just pause and I'll cut it out to where you can like turn it on and off or something?
No, you should have his picture zooming in the longer I talk. So it
Oh,
zooms in on his eyes and his face.
Oh, is my camera doing that?
No, it's just
Yeah.
frozen on you doing this.
Oh, should I turn it on off?
Yeah, do that real quick.
All right.
That's
They're all
what
coming
zooming
in
in.
so clearly. I'm like, oh, I got good connection today.
Yeah, my ass. You got your what is that banana PJ on?
Yeah, dude.
Oh God.
Kind of going back to like I think the biggest strength of both of these seasons does lie in that villain team. Was the Psycho Rangers, were they ever in the intro at all? Like did they
Intro?
like
No.
have them in the intro? Okay.
No.
So here's the thing.
no, yeah.
If you know nothing about Ninja Storm, all of the promo material did really well because all I remember was just seeing the 3 and I was like, 3 Rangers, what? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And getting into the show and having the first episode, it plays the intro and it explains like the scrolls were handed down to 3 who would become, and the intro kicks ass. and it shows you the Thunder Rangers in the intro, and you're just like, it's a blink and you miss it, and you're like, what was that? And
Yeah.
the show does really well. Like, one of my favorite aspects of a Sentai Go-Onger is how they introduce the 6th and the 7th Ranger by having them very incrementally, increased in episodes. So, like, the first episode, you literally just see, the Go-On Wings. The second one, it zooms into the cockpit, like, the second episode that they're in it, and it's like, holy shit. Drivers in it, they have pilots. And then the third episode, they show up and they throw the dynamite Don back at the dude, and you're just like, all right, these guys are the greatest. That's how I felt like Ninja Storm handled the Thunder Rangers, and I think it's still to this day one of the most like expertly done things about Power Rangers. Like, they just show up at the end of the episode and you're just like, oh my god. And I remember just waiting weeks and weeks to see who are these two. I want these. And honestly, like, I had the spinny one for the main 3 and I loved it, but as soon as I saw theirs that go up and the wings, this might be a little cringy, but I remember being in 3rd grade and that show was on, and I would wear that every day, and people would ask me, what is that? And I'm like, it's a European watch. And I would cover it up.
Hell yeah.
I would just hide it all the
I
time.
wore my Zeolizer like last week at Walmart. It's fine.
Awesome.
Why not?
Great. Yeah, it's just, it's a difficult matchup. Going into it, I was thinking, maybe I'll lean more in space, but it could just be biased because I did just recently finish watching Ninja Storm like a couple weeks ago, so it's like fresh in my mind. But honestly, I'm thinking Ninja Storm might be the better one. Just with everything we've discussed, with everything today. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, space is amazing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think when you have things like we talk about the Thunders, and especially Cam versus Zane, I don't think there's much contest there. I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Even
for
Ninja
sure.
Storm has
Definitely go in favor for In Space, simply because the linear story they have is definitely more dramatic and more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
The villain is better because she becomes a villain and not a villain, and you have other villains that are a little deeper. Like Ecliptor is like
Ecliptor, dope, dude.
Yeah, he's not simply a bad guy
cool.
or a henchman. He's like, he has like deeper views and cares about Astronema, and like isn't just a bad guy.
I mean, Draconda, they're both great.
Yeah, Draconda was amazing, and so if you compare that, definitely In Space wins, and of course, probably the best finale in Power Rangers. Countdown to Destruction.
Every finale has tried to be Countdown to Destruction.
Yeah.
Can't mention it all.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't know. It's so difficult because they're so virtually different,
Absolutely.
but yet they're so similar, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just like depending on like how you're feeling that day. You know what I mean? It really would decide which to go to.
I will say I think Ninja Storm in the long term took more risks, or I guess Saban at the time took more risks adapting Ninja Storm, because you're already saying, okay, 3 Rangers. You've always seen 5 or more. Here's just 3. And then
that was Disney. Saban had nothing to do with Ninja Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Disney's first season, yeah.
It's kind of like, well, that's Disney's first season. Hasbro's first season also had 3 Rangers, so it seems like every time Saban lets it go, they go to a 3 Ranger team.
Yeah, definitely. So you have that, and also you have the idea of, all right, let's test the audience now. Let's have two blue. Let's have a male Yellow Ranger. Let's have 2 reds. Like it's
crimson and navy.
Like everything jarring, everything about it. Like seeing their face when the visor opens, the scenery of New Zealand, the characterizations, everything about it should be jarring and almost shouldn't work, but it totally works.
Even the Megazord with like the little balls that come out of it, the numbered balls, and like,
you know what? I didn't care about their Zords until I saw the Thunder Zords. Those are badass Zords. And Cam Zord is really cool too, but Thunder Zords sold me on all of them.
well, remember how I said like the Wild?
I love the big mammoth. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. The previous season Wild Force, like the Zords like worked so well together, and it felt like, you know, like each part had like a purpose. And then I remember getting this one, and it was just like, all right, it's all yellow. And then there's a little blue, and then there's a little red. Oh, what happened to Josh's camera there?
Did he? The blur? Which game? All right.
But a lot
We're
of times,
good?
like for these upcoming matches that we're going to be talking about today, like In Space versus Ninja Storm and the next few, I just in my head I'm just like, what has the better opening? Because that kind of the opening almost equates to how good the season can be, and I love In Space's countdown. It's so good, but then you get to Ninja Storm and you just like want to get up and like go Power Rangers, you know what I mean? Like it so embodies what Power Rangers is and should be, and I think like In Space is great. It's fun, but like Ninja Storm, oh my god, I could listen to that, and I have for hours. It's good.
Going back on the Megazords, I think the Astro Mega Ship is dope. The fact that it's like their like, command center, it's only one Zord. There's no like extra combining stuff. It's just one Zord, and it's just it creates a sort of like neat and like sleek aesthetic that's much more like it just feels much more like well constructed when in comparison to like Ninja Storm, where it's like just like a lion head here and like this big like dolphin, and it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I will agree. I think the In Space one's better. I will give it, even the other upgrade Zords, I think I like the In Space ones more than the Ninja Storm ones.
I think the Astro Megazord is probably my all-time favorite Megazord. I love that thing.
Yes.
I'll say fix your camera.
Also, because aliens.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh my god, that's so good.
I gotta fix my connection or something. If
you want, I'll send you a webcam. If you want a webcam, I'll send you one.
It's better than my lighting.
Is that what it is, you think? Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
What is it, like a laptop one, or what is it?
It's a laptop one.
Now, I don't know if this will get here before we're done recording today, but maybe I can get it to you for the finale. Any last words on In Space versus Ninja Storm? I think we covered a lot of good bases here. But of course, somebody in the comments is going to be upset. But
absolutely,
I'm going to be upset in the comments, to be honest.
I know a big one that we kind of keep glossing over: the suits. So I think we mentioned it. Like the visors opening, like the suits in Ninja Storm felt like. It didn't just feel like they're wearing costumes. It felt like these were actual like suits that they could do real damage with. I always
ancient ritual suits.
The chainmail, or whatever you call it, like that silver.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And with a sword that they actually used, like they all had their own weapons, like a giant hammer, and for some reason, like a big microphone thing. And then make them dance, why not? But like when I saw a giant hammer, they made them fly out of the ground. Like that's awesome. And like a wind gun thing, like that was cool. And then like for some reason the Thunder Rangers, their staff could also be like a circle thing sometimes. They could chuck it. Like there was some good stuff.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like a lot, depending on the show and depending on the season, sometimes there's similarity but yet difference within the uniform design. When you see In Space, they all don't look alike, but they look alike. You know what I mean? They all don't. Yeah. They're alike, but they're not. But with Ninja Storm, okay, this is a squad, but there's so much even though it's a team, there's so much individualism in all the designs.
Yeah,
but it's still cohesive. It's still cohesive and it works together. And like that, as much as I love In Space and the uniforms and everything about it, like those uniforms for Ninja Storm just knock In Space out the box.
Yeah,
they're pretty great.
Whatever.
But does ninjas surf in space?
Oh, that is true. They had the surfboards. I forgot about that.
And they met Ninja Turtles.
We don't talk about that.
Let's see. You give me one.
Whatever Alsace has, it jumped down to Sean. I feel like it's going to come to me or Josh next.
It's probably going to be
there we
me.
go. You're good. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
All right, guys. Let's wrap this up. Now, again, no hard feelings. I know we talked a little bit about this when we first started recording, but just whatever wins. And no hard feelings, hopefully, from anybody in the comments. This is obviously not definitive. Like this is like people that I felt like would be a really good group together that would really expertly gauge where all these shows kind of fall along, for like each and every one of us for maybe different reasons. And hopefully this is kind of a good consensus. All right, so you guys, let's this. Sean, you may have to just say what you want just because it's not working on my end. But 1 for In Space. You could put up a 1 for In Space, 2 for Ninja Storm. All right.
I don't want to pick.
3, 2, 1. Oh,
Two.
it's unanimous.
Wow.
Oh,
We're gonna break Power Ranger Twitter with this episode.
Dude, they're gonna be so
Dang.
mad again. They're gonna be so mad about all of this.
I feel like the Mighty Morphin episode is the one that's probably gonna. We haven't obviously put it up yet, but that one's gonna break some people.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm so scared.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like
I wasn't expecting that.
as we kept talking about like In Space, and like In Space is great. Like I love it. It's a good season. I might have to revisit it after we're done with all this. But like, just comparing it to Ninja Storm, that's just almost every bend and turn. It does it a little bit better, except for obviously the finale, because that's kind of the finale that is the blueprint for everything. But it's such a good season, and I'm happy. I'm happy with the outcome. I'll take it. That's all I mean. All right, so Ninja Storm is our winner for this matchup, and it'll be heading into the semifinals. There we go. I remember.
There you go. Sports.
And our next matchup, our next episode on Versus next week will be Power Rangers Lost Galaxy versus Power Rangers SPD.
Wow.
I hate these. Easy.
Find out what Nick means on the next episode of Versus. See ya.